I want you to think of some events that have happened in your life that have really stuck with you, and they're not events that have happened to you, just things that have happened in the world that just seem to stay in your mind. Now there's the giant ones such as 9/11 that really affected the universal consciousness. Other things like Princess Diana dying, I was a bit too young for that, but again, this monumental event. But there was one event that happened when I was a kid. I was probably 11 or 12, and I remember it happening, and for some reason I just could not shake the story from my mind, and it was a mix of both intrigue and horror at that young age that affected me deeply, and it really did sort of bring me into the adult world and realise that everything's not just sunshine, rainbows and playing as a kid. And this event that happened really did sort of reveal the dark underbelly of the world. And if I tell you that I am in Morecambe and there is the Bay of Morecambe, then a lot of you, I assume, will go, oh yeah, I know exactly what he's talking about, the disaster that happened in February 2004. So I've never been to this bay before. I've never been to Morecambe. Now Morecambe lies, I assume that's all Morecambe there, going along, and then the Bay of Morecambe, which stretches all the way round there. So yeah, I've never been to Morecambe before, but I have thought about this place so much, the Bay of Morecambe, because of the Morecambe cockle picking disaster from 2004, where 23 people drowned in that bay there whilst they were out picking cockles. And then what was revealed was this crazy turn of events of human trafficking, gangs, witnesses going missing. And yeah, it was just this crazy event that kind of just changed the way I thought about the world. So I'm super interested to come to explore Morecambe, maybe head down the bay a bit more. And yeah, just look into that story, which kind of stuck with me. And I'm sure that a lot of you will remember it as well. But first, one thing you'll notice is it's the mud around here. It is sand, but it also just looks like mud, and this bit here is quite revealing as to how dangerous it can be. You've got the sea coming in there, and then you've got these like channels here which lead up. Then all around it you've got this muddy looking wet sand, and the tide here can come in so quickly and retreat so quickly as well, that it takes some serious local knowledge to understand where would be safe to pick cockles in this area. Now even underfoot, that is so soft, you can just feel that there. And then these channels that come in, these channels here that come in, they just constantly move and adapt and evolve with the landscape. So there's no way of knowing where is safe to walk. Right, so let's go and have a little wander down the promenade into Morecambe, see what's going on down there maybe. And then yeah, maybe head down the bay a little bit. I mean, look at this though. Spring is here. I actually can't remember the last time it rained. And how nice does this look? Morecambe on a sunny day. It's absolutely beautiful. But you can see as well there, so it looks like maybe the tide's going out. I should have checked high tide and low tide, but the tide's definitely not at its full level, and you can see how far it's going back. But at certain areas in this huge bay which goes out, the tide retreats. It retreats, I think, at areas like a couple of miles back, revealing these giant mud flats. And it was out really far away from the shore, like I say, miles on this wet sandy mud. The best areas for picking cockles would be cockles, the shellfish, which back in 2004 were very prominent here. It was big industry around this area. It was like the gold rush. So many people were heading out trying to find this shellfish gold, so to speak. Tell you what, let's just go have a quick look at this bookshop over here. What a great shop. The old Pier bookshop. Now this is what I call a bookshop. Wow. Oh, it's like a maze. And just everywhere you go, books, old books. Wow, this is awesome. Oh, what a shop. That was absolutely amazing. I love old bookshops like that, where there are just books everywhere you look. Books on every subject that you could probably wish for. Although I did ask for any books on cockling, and he did say not on that. But yeah, there we got the amusement arcades of Morecambe. Looks like a big old hotel. Looks like the Queen's Hotel for sale right on the front there. I wonder if Morecambe struggles with the same sort of problems that Blackpool, just a few miles down the coast, struggles with big old hotels boarded up. But so far, it seems buzzing. It seems a lot. I think it's because it's a lot smaller, but it seems bustling. It's a lovely day. You got a little casino thing there. Very beautiful streets there, aren't they? So maybe coming down here, you've got like the places that feel a little bit like Blackpool, big, closed up. This is just a quick message from the sponsor of this video, and it's Extra Wallets again. Now, I was so buzzing when this brand got in touch and said, would you be up for collaborating again? Because I really do love these products, and they're a great brand to work with. They're such nice people. So I thought I'd definitely take them up on this. Now, this is the one that I absolutely love. It's the open wallet. Now, obviously you've got this cool card pop-out storage there, but inside as well, you've got extra storage in there, and what I really love is the ability to carry cash with this clip here. They also have this model as well, which I absolutely love for when I'm going running, because it just fits so easily into my running band, and it keeps all my cards secure there as well. But they've also sent me this, which I believe is a cash clip. So I'm going to open this with you because I've not actually seen this yet, so I thought that'd be pretty cool. So if you are interested, hit the link in the description. You can save up to 30% off until the 19th of May and use code TURNIP on top of that for an extra 10% off. So I love how the money clip as well just fits nicely onto the wallet. And then you can keep your cash as well, just tucked on the back of your wallet. Just like that. What a great little addition that is from Exeter. I absolutely love it. Remembering that people do still use cash, like me. So yeah, a whole range of absolutely amazing products. And the other thing I love about Exeter is they support me on making videos about absolutely whatever, which I just think is really cool. It's so nice to have a brand trust my ideas and let me go and make videos about a whole range of subjects and just be like, that's cool, we keep supporting you. So yeah, check out Exeter. Right, back to the video. And over there you got all the rides that are setting off. But yeah, back down here. Oh, fuck, oh God. All right, look at this. So, check this out. Just put my foot down, straight in there, like that. And the more I move it, it's just like quicksand. So let's get back to the story of the cockle pickers. Obviously, away from the nice, beautiful, British seaside town resort with its arcades and fun things to do. Oh my God, again, look, just sinking. Oh my Lord. Okay, this is crazy. But yeah, it gives you a bit of a rough guide of just what the terrain is like around here. Right, it was over there, down there, I think, just around the bay a bit in a place called Walton Sands, which was the best place to head out to pick cockles, and it was in the evening time, and the group of people going out actually got warned. They got warned by a local fisherman who said, don't go out, it's too late, the tide's coming in too quickly tonight, stay. But they all went out, and then yes, what happened was, in the night, in the freezing cold February night, the tide started to surround the group of people who'd gone out picking cockles, and unfortunately, yeah, they just got stuck there. And you can imagine as well, like I've just shown you, the stuff that they were standing in is basically like quicksand. So the sand, the muddy sand that's like this, stretching out way, way into the bay, they'll have walked out, and then, yeah, suddenly the tide rushes back in so quickly. And this is the kind of terrain that they'll have been stood on. Look at this. Your foot just goes straight in, and that is just sinking further and further in. So as you can see there, I've just stepped one foot into it, and the more I wiggle it, the more it's just going around, and these people were stuck in the middle of that with water rising around them really, really quickly. Some areas, it feels totally fine. Some areas, you just sink into it. God. So rescue operations went on throughout the night to try and save the cockle pickers who had gotten stuck out at sea. And a few of these were successful, but unfortunately 23 people drowned. 23 people out in that bay were stuck and could not be saved, and their bodies were recovered the next, I think it was the following few days when they found them. A lot of it because they got stuck in the sand, so they were right down in there when the water was coming in, and also just how far out they were actually going. Rescue operations had no idea where they were. Here we are back on nice soft sand. Hopefully my feet will dry out a bit. So I think the tide is definitely going out, as I can't actually really tell on the camera where the beach ends now and the sea begins. So it's probably, whilst it is out, let's head round the bay a bit, see if we can get down to Walton Sands area. So who were the people picking the cockles? Well, this is where the story gets a bit crazier and just continues to be crazy and more haunting, really, because all of the people who were out there were Chinese immigrants who had been hired to pick cockles. Now, these were Chinese illegal immigrants who had been hired to pick cockles. They were getting paid absolutely nothing. Now, as I said, the cockle trade at the time was massive, really, really prominent. And I think that somebody had put in a massive order for some cockles. And yeah, whoever had been running, and it was a gang, these people had literally been trafficked over to the United Kingdom on the promise of finding good work. They'd been smuggled to Liverpool and then, yeah, transported up to the Bay of Morecambe to pick cockles. So yeah, somebody had put in this massive order for cockles. And even though that night the weather warnings had been so bad, even though people were literally saying, do not go out, the people who had trafficked these poor humans over and put them to such horrible conditions and cared so little about their lives said, nope, we've got an order to fill, you're going out there tonight, and sent them out there, sent them out to the deaths. So it all looks so beautiful today, doesn't it? So peaceful. It's not even that windy, but just imagine. And this was February 2004 at night. So you get dropped off here probably. You've been running in a van. There's a load of you. You can't speak any English. It's freezing cold, it's dark. And you've got to walk out miles there to go pick these cockles. And like I showed you before, walking on this stuff in daylight isn't easy at all. Just imagine doing it in the pitch black. It must have been so scary for these people. And as well, the temperature of this water, oh my God, yeah, it's so cold. It is so cold. But you can imagine the temperature of this water in the middle of the night in February will have been freezing, and these people, these Chinese immigrants who have been put to work, are stuck in the middle of that bay while the water is coming all around them. And there's phone calls, there's phone recordings from the Chinese people who had phones on them to both the police at the time, but also a lot of them rang back home to their families in China to say what was going on. In a way, probably to say goodbye. And some of the recordings are harrowing. There's one where the guy's going, sinking, all around me, sinking. And it's just so horrifying to think that where he was in the middle of that, in the middle of all of that. The few survivors that there were from the event, as I say, rescue operations did manage to save some people, and they took them into custody. And at first these people were saying, oh, we went out for a picnic and we got stuck. And I mean, the story just didn't make any sense because it was at night, and just why would you do that? But yeah, it became very clear quickly that they were hiding something. A few of them looked terrified when they were being spoken to by the police, and kept looking towards a few of the other members. And the police soon realised, oh God, this is an operation here. Like, clearly there are leaders here, and there are people that are being told to say certain things. So they managed to figure out who was leading this from those survivors. What's it? Oh, look at this. Okay, so this here is in memory of the 23 Chinese cockle-picking fishermen, men and women, who tragically died in Morecambe Bay on the 5th of February 2004. And then it's got all the names of the people. So for some reason I assumed it was just men who'd gone out there and risked their lives and lost their lives, sadly, but no, it was also women as well who went out. I did not know that. And look at this, is the poem here, the Bay of Words, and it just ends with this: remember us with love, not fear. We, like you, now live here. Ooh. And here's the RNLI shop. Should we go have a look in here? Like, this is what... These are the people that will have saved the people they could that terrible day.
There's that there, and then you know about the plaque.
Yeah, I've just seen the plaque over there, yeah.
Just inside the wall.
Yeah, I just read that with the poem on the end of it, yeah. So the plaque in there as well on the wall that said, obviously, remembering the lives of the people lost that day out at sea, but also remembering the lives of all the people who work on the lifeboats who go out and die, because they're the people that risk their lives. I think it said 15 call-outs so far in 2025, and every time they go out, they're risking their lives at the same time as trying to save lives. And apparently that night when they went out, when the people were stuck there, the reports afterwards said that it was the weather was so bad, it felt like being in a washing machine on the boats. Okay, so I was just about to say, I wonder if I can find out the tide times. And look here, it says on here, Morecambe Bay can be a treacherous place. Before venturing onto the sands, please check the latest tide predictions. So yeah, let's scan this and find out what is actually going on with the tide. So that is a really, really interesting bit of technology there, that QR code that just lets you know when the tide is going to be coming in and out. And I'm sure that definitely has a sort of place originating in what happened here 21 years ago. And over there is Hest Bank. So this is the place, it was somewhere around here where the workers, the cockle pickers, went out. Oh, my hat. And that tide chart that I just checked then said that low tide is at about 5 o'clock. So the tide is going out now. Now I'm going to get my drone up and fly around and just show you this area here. And because it looks so far away from the shoreline already, and it will give you a bit of an impression of just how far this tide can go out and how far these workers will have been walking into. So obviously I was hoping to come here today and kind of be able to show you what it's like when the tide goes out, and what the surface is like. And I showed you that before with my feet sinking into it. But flying my drone up then, what I didn't realise and what kind of explains it so well and how terrifying it must have been. This area, the tide, like normal beaches and like beaches we'll all have been to, the tide comes in, you see it, and then it goes out, and it comes in and it goes out. And flying my drone up, and even just being sat here, you can see that that's not the case here. The tide doesn't just come in and go out. It just disappears at random points. Random points just go away suddenly, leaving islands like I could just see then. And even from the time I've just been sat here, obviously the tide's going out. For those people stuck there, it was coming in. But you can see areas are just appearing. So yeah, if you didn't have the general knowledge of this area, if you didn't have the know, you would just, walking out into that it's just a death trap. It's terrifying. And the fact that these people were forced to do it, it's so horrifying. And as I say, it was that event as a kid that I just couldn't stop thinking about all the elements. These Chinese people, why were they out there? Why were they picking cockles? Who was making them do this? Every part of it just confused me. And seeing the area now where they were in person from above fully just explains how terrifying and how lethal this place is. And even as I'm just talking now, I can see the water just going away. It's a crazy, crazy landscape here. It really is. And those strange little, what do you call them, tributaries? And those strange little wiggly bits that go in and out, and you can see from above how they are stretching onto the shore, but also going all the way into the bit where the water is. How can you navigate that unless you're looking like I am from above? You're just walking You don't know where they're appearing. It's crazy. So the police realised who was orchestrating this illegal work and who were the victims of it. And they arrested the people they realised were the gang leaders, and they put the victims into the asylum system. And all the people who were put into the asylum system, who were the witnesses, who were hopefully going to be what would help the case and figure out who was responsible for this, all just disappeared. They all just immediately vanished. They were terrified for their lives. They knew that whoever was running these gangs would just get them. So they disappeared immediately, which made the police then suddenly think, God, what is going on here? How deep does this go? How many layers of this do we peel back before we figure out what really is going on here? Now, I've just come down to a place called Boltonley Sands, where apparently there is a sculpture in memorial for those that lost their lives. So let's go find that. So you can see here as well as we're walking over to it, these like little tributaries, I can't say that word, whatever that word is, tributaries, appearing, which is similar to what I was seeing when I was flying up with my drone. And obviously I don't know how often this bit does get filled up with water, but you can see down there how quickly the entire bay is being revealed and pulled back. I was only flying my drone 5-10 minutes ago, just down there, and now look, the whole brown bank, the muddy desert is just appearing, the terrifying landscape in which they walked out to. And somewhere around here, I hope I've come the right way, because there's meant to be a memorial somewhere around here, but I think I've gone the wrong way, because look at this. I can't think where it'd be. Oh, is that it? Oh yeah, this is it. The praying shell. So there it is there, the praying shell. Looking directly over the bay where they did sadly drown. It was crazy as well, because something like, I think they only found like 21 of the bodies, and then the only way they found the remains of someone else was later, when they found a skull of the person, which had kind of just been left in the sand somewhere. So I just think it was all the elements of this crazy story that, as a 12-year-old or 11-year-old, when I heard about it and was reading about it, I just couldn't understand why any of it was happening. I was at that age when I was quite naive to the world, as a child should be, and this story kind of broke down the illusion a lot. Why were these Chinese people out here? What were they doing in Morecambe? Why weren't they at home? And you later find out that these Chinese people, well, they'd come here promised on the idea that they could find loads of work to send back home to their families. And unfortunately, that wasn't the case at all. They just racked up huge debt being trafficked across here. So much debt, in fact, that after all of these people who died here, the debt was also passed on to their families back in China, some of whom took it on and paid it, and some of whom unfortunately committed suicide because they were so wrought from the distress of what had happened here, plus then having to pay that debt back. The whole thing's just a really, really crazy story. Well, coming here today and actually seeing how vast this strange, I know there's water there, but it looks like a desert when you're flying around it. And when I first heard, oh, they were like 2 miles out picking cockles, I was like, no way, that can't be right. But when you stand here and look out and see all that land appearing, you're like, wow, they most definitely could have been 2 miles out. And the feeling of kind of isolation. One, you're away from your family, you're on the other side of the world. You've lost kind of all hope, probably anyway, that this was the right thing to do. And then two, just the fear of just being stuck in that. It just sent my child's brain into overdrive, trying to work out all these different things. Human trafficking, what's that? Gangs, people having to travel across the world to support their families. Why couldn't they just get a job where they are? All these things suddenly introduced from this one story, and it just stuck with me. So it's really, really interesting to finally come to the place and look out over where the lives were lost.
The Morecambe Bay cockle-picking disaster of 2004 claimed the lives of 23 Chinese migrant workers. The gangmaster responsible for the workers, Lin Liang Ren, was convicted of manslaughter and received a 14-year prison sentence, of which he served half before being deported. In the aftermath, significant changes were implemented to prevent such tragedies from reoccurring, including the Gangmasters Act of 2004, which was to regulate labour practices in industries like agriculture and like shellfish gathering. Over the years, Morecambe Bay has claimed the lives of many other people, mostly involving individuals who are unfamiliar with its danger, those who have ventured out without understanding the risks. But the bay remains a place of both beauty and danger, serving as a stark reminder of the need for caution and respect for nature's power. But I want to finish with those lines of that poem that are on the memorial in Morecambe, paying respect to those who weren't foolish, but who were forced. Remember us with love, not fear. We, like you, now live here.